Hi guys, so sorry if I've been around for a bit. I really apologize for that. I know you guys are probably waiting for another video to come out. I don't know, but if you are, sorry. I've been working long hours and many days, and haven't really been able to do much of my YouTube lately. But I'm still going. I'm not giving up. I'm not stopping. You know, because of you guys, I've gotten my 200 subscribers. So thank you all for subscribing to my channel, for being a part of this community, and for, you know, really reaching out to me and telling me how you feel about my videos and everything like that. I really appreciate you guys. You're awesome. So yeah, I've been just working, you know, just a lot of hours, to be honest. What's happening is we're actually cut short on staff, and so I've been having to do like the job of 5 people instead of 1. So I actually run a I don't run a grocery store, but I am a manager at a grocery store, and so I do deal with a lot of the retail aspect of it, and just stocking and making sure the store is restocked and full. So a little bit of my life to you guys, just so you can get an idea of what I do. The whole goal here is to get monetized and try to push that job down a little bit more, so it doesn't take up so much of my time, which is the ultimate goal, of course, for anything you want to do, is to have more time on your hands to be able to do things that you love. And making these videos is actually something I really love doing, especially showing you what I know and giving you little tips here and there of how to better your photography and make a difference in your art. So that's what I would like to do full time. Right now, I got 200 subscribers. I think it's like 204 now. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for subscribing and being a part of this community. You guys are amazing. All the feedback has been amazing. And you know what? I'm just so grateful for all your support and kind words that a lot of you have said to me. So thank you. Appreciate that. On the next note, let's talk about why I made this video. The thing I would like to talk about is texture today, and how you can actually implement texture into your photography to make it look even better. It could make it look abstract. It's just another way to portray your photography in the way that you want to. Now, you do have to start developing an eye in your mind of how you want the texture to work in your photos. So say you're taking a really cool portrait in like a setting to where the sun is starting to set, kind of like right now. You can actually maybe create a texture and put that in the foreground of the image, not really seeing it, but blending it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to blend your textures as well, as long as give you examples of what textures I think would look pretty cool in a photo, or even just try it out and show you what it looks like, to be honest, because not every texture that I take, I have no idea what it's going to look like, to be honest. But that's why when you're taking photos, you have to kind of look at texture and be like, hey, that would look kind of neat in my picture. It might give it I mean, even if it's just part of the texture, it might give it some detail in the photo that you weren't expecting, but you know, wanting. You know, you gotta just start thinking that way when you're doing this. Now, I wouldn't recommend texture for every picture because, of course, it's gonna not be right. But when you implement it in a certain way and you make it look kind of cool, it looks like art. And you, sorry about the wind chime, by the way. That's loud. But anyway, you can implement texture in different ways. And today, that's why I wanted to make this video and actually show you guys how that can be done. All right, so let's get to it. Let's check it out. Okay, guys, so here we are in the computer, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what you can do with these textures and how powerful they can be inside of Photoshop or any editing software that you're using. You just have to make sure you can blend it with your other layers and make sure that you can use them on top of your pictures, whether they be portraits or any kind of landscapes or any kind of photos you want to implement textures on. So let's go ahead and get into Photoshop. And so I have a few images already pulled up. This one I found online on a free site called, what's it called? Pexels. And you can find a lot of cool pictures on Pexels and play around with them. And you know, go ahead and try different textures. There's a lot of textures on Pexels as well, which is also a great place to, you know, try this. If you don't have the ability to take pictures, well, go ahead and try downloading some pictures on Pexels that have texture. But you know, taking your own pictures makes it more makes a creative process. Taking your own pictures kind of helps the creative process work better. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the first one I'm going to go ahead and try is this one. Now this is just a picture. It's a black and white picture that I pulled off of the Pexels website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer by going down to this little plus sign, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to File, and I'm going to go Place Embedded. So what I want to do is go ahead and pick a picture from my texture file. And I want to go ahead and choose this one. I like this. Let's go ahead and try it. This is all about playing around and kind of using your creative juices to make things change in your photographs. So let's go ahead and open this up, and it's really small, so I'm going to scale it up. Now with these, to be honest, it doesn't matter too much how much you scale it, as long as you can still see the clarity of the image. You know, you can do whatever you want, stretch it, make it small. The texture, it kind of, you know, you kind of play around with it. You want to keep the resolution as much as you can too, but I mean, it's not going to matter as much because you're not actually changing your photograph, the original photograph. So this is just an addition to it. So let's keep playing around with it. Let's change it. Let's warp it. Let's do whatever we want with it and make it work the best we can for our photograph here. Okay, so I'm just fitting this thing to this picture to make it cover it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my layer, and I'm going to show you what these can do. These are cool. So and basically when you do this, you're just changing your filter. Okay, your overlay, your filter, basically your filter to filter out what the picture does, if you can see through it or not. You know, there's some really cool things right here. Like, look, check this out. You can make this purple. I mean, just play around, see what each filter will do, and just, you know, go through them and see what you like. You know, and you can always adjust it. You go with this, the sky's the limit, of course, with your photograph and these textures. These are why textures are so great, because you can implement them into your photography and make your photos look really cool. There's just all these different looks and styles. And that's just a leaf. I think that's awesome. So be creative. That's kind of interesting. It's already a black and white image, but that makes it more of a I don't know what you would even call that kind of picture. It's kind of cool, you know. And then, oh, what I can do too is add 2 textures. So let's do that for fun. Let's go ahead and create a new layer. And I'm going to go ahead and place another texture. So let's go place embedded. And let's see what I want. I want to try this. No, this one right here. Let's see what we can do with this one. Okay. Now this one's not as clear, but that's okay. I don't need to be perfect. I did this inside, that's why. So I just wanted to cover, I mean, I can make it cover the whole thing if I want to, but what I want to do is just try it on this for fun. So now I'm going to try my blending modes. These are blending modes. Yes. And I want to see what I can come up with. Now remember, you can make it do whatever you want in your picture. See, I got a blue background now with the sky, which is really neat. Okay. And you don't have to keep it that way. You can also lower the opacity. But look at this, it's changing into more of an abstract than anything. But there are ways to bring back your original photo to make it look really cool. So just create a copy. That's what I did. And let's go ahead and bring this back up here. Now I'm going to go ahead and overlay it over what I just did. Overlay is not good enough. It's not strong enough for what I want. I kind of want to do... It's very interesting how all these filters work. That almost looks like it's nighttime. You just be creative, you know. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just be creative with your photography. You know, that's what I'm telling you right now. Just if you're creative and you can kind of do something different, you create art with it. That's what we are. We're artists, you know. Creating art is just something we do as photographers. Let's redo this filter. And I'm going to subtract. Right now, I'm creating a vignette. I'll show you. Basically, if you guys want to know how to do a vignette, it's very easy. Just do your rectangular marquee tool. Go over your picture. Alright, and then you're going to go ahead and go into your subtract marquee. Okay. You have to do this on a fresh layer, so make sure you create a new layer before doing all this. And then just create the box that you want for your vignette. And then I'm going to go edit, fill. Oops, did white. Well, let's see what white looks like for fun. Just, you know, doing black might be too much. I was going to do black, but, you know, let's do white. And then we're going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, Gaussian blur. Gaussian. Not really. I never really have known how to say that word. Alright. Now you have kind of a trippy picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to blend this too. Ooh. Now see, that's interesting. See how it made it like stand out? All the black lines stand out? That's interesting. Just play around. When you have texture, you just play. And that's what, you know, implementing texture can do, is give you a very interesting photograph. That's different. Now, I'm not too fond of that necessarily. Now, see, I can get rid of stuff I don't want to. So if I don't want this, I'll get rid of it, you know. In fact, if I want to do something else, I can also implement a different texture as well. So let me go ahead and create a new layer on top of this one. And I want to go ahead and go place embedded. let's see. Let's go ahead and go with this one. Sure. Okay. And we're gonna stretch it. Oh, stretch it. I'm gonna just actually turn this. And hit OK. There, that looks better. Now I'm gonna go ahead and overlay this. I'm telling you guys, the possibilities are endless with this. Now, I'm not saying this looks great. It looks kind of funky. I honestly I'm just playing around with it, just to show you how things work. But you can create kind of an abstract photo, if anything, with this, with your image. Just have fun with it. Wow, trippy. Alright, let me create another vignette. Okay. Oops. We want this vignette, and now we want to subtract our vignette. And this time I want to do black. You can do black or white, doesn't matter. Whatever your photo is, but you can remember, if you blend it, it's gonna turn your picture lighter. If you blend it, it's gonna turn your picture darker. But that's it for blending. Those are blending modes right here. So what we're gonna do now with this one is just Gaussian blur it. In filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Alright, that way I have more of a look to it. And then I can also go multiply to darken it. Now that looks trippy. That looks really cool actually. It's like art now. So that's one thing you can do. Okay. So many different possibilities with our art. It's crazy. Photography is just one aspect of our art, you know, but it's a beautiful thing that we could do. Alright, so here's another image. Let's go ahead and create a new layer. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab from my texture file, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this one. So let's see, let's go ahead and grab this one. Go ahead and place this. Alright, open this up. These are all raw files. I do not know how this is going to come out when I'm done with it. It's about having a creative process and just creating something you like, that you feel will implement well into your photo. Alright, so what we're going to do... Alright, we're going to go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and just play with these filters. Interesting. I don't know if I like that texture of this photo, so let's go ahead and delete it. Let's create a new layer. Go back into here. Go back into place embedded. Let's see which one. I'm gonna go to this one right here. Let's try that. There we go. This is cement. So let's try that. Let's see how that looks. Okay. So you guys are seeing, are you seeing how I'm doing this? I'm just basically, I have the image I want. I'm creating a new layer. I'm playing it. I'm using the place embedded button, and then I am basically stretching this across my image. Images you take, they have to have some clarity, so make sure, you know, Like in these, I made a mistake and I used a lower f-stop. You know, it's because it was in the later part of the day, so it's darker. You know, use a higher f-stop so you can get it all into focus. That will help a lot. Doesn't have to be perfect though, you know, just as long as you can see the image. So let's go ahead and play with our blending modes. Now that looks kind of cool actually. In fact, what I want to do with this one now is make it a black and white. See? And that looks pretty cool. Just like that. I mean, we can almost always go further. Always. So we can put a color on there. So say I want, oh gosh, Arizona sunset color. Something crazy. There we go. Let's do that. And we're going to go ahead and blend it. Ooh. That looks cool. I like that. Alright, now if I want to bring back any of this color in the image, what I will do is use a paintbrush and I'll paint it back in. Okay. And use this lower opacity so I can paint it in. So it's looking like an older photo in a way. It actually kind of looks like a sun bleach photo, you know. And I can add more. I can add a little bit more blue if I'd like. So maybe just a sky blue color if I'd like to. And then I can go overlay. But notice how it works. It's very interesting how each and everything you use works. So what I'd like to do I think I'm gonna get much of a blue sky today. Just saying with this picture. So you just have to go through the filters. That's interesting. Let's do that, but I'm gonna change my mask to delete this mask. Yep, delete it and then create a new mask. Boom. There you go. Now what I'd like to do is take a lower opacity, paint in what I saw a little bit. Be careful, see what happened? So your brush was soft. Interesting. Nah, I'm good. I don't like that. Let's get rid of the blue. The blue turned red, so we're gonna forget that. What I can do is do a hue saturation on this one. And only make it so I have bluer skies. And then, like I said before, delete your adjustment layer. Create a new one, hit by hitting Alt. And then click on the adjustment layer, and you got that. So now I'm getting more of the blue sky. Now my original image is really suffering, so what I'm going to do here just put this on the top. I want to hide it, and then I'm going to bring it back in. Be as creative as you want to be. as photographers we can be with all the new technology we have. Now we can make postcards of this too, so yeah, you just be creative and you know, do what you want. I'm gonna say, let's see, Arizona. It's because it's taken in Arizona. Alright guys, so this is what I came up with this picture. So then basically, you know, use your textures accordingly. You can use them in any way, shape, and form that you want to. So here we got another picture. Let's go ahead and create a new layer. And we're going to go ahead and hit place embedded. And then we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and pick something. What will we like today? I don't know, something interesting. Let's go ahead and pick this for fun. I'm gonna go ahead and import this picture into this image and we're gonna see what happens. And this is a picture of a textured wall. Great, right? Let's just see what we can do with this textured wall. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's see what we can create. Alright, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna go like, ooh, we're gonna just put it right over this little guy. Very interesting. Now, overlay doesn't always work with everything. So when you're doing these layer masks, you're gonna basically just, well, they're actually just filters. You know what? I keep saying what these are, and I keep forgetting the word. So it's just an overlay filter or whatever. So, you know, just gotta play with it. I just can't find my words today, unfortunately. But what this thing does is just blends your, it's a blending mode. Thank you. Blending mode. Blending mode. So I gotta remember that. Blending mode. I don't know why I can't remember it sometimes. You know, with Photoshop, it's just so many terms, and I keep changing them over the years. You know, they call these panels, some of them are called just windows. I don't know. But so you can be creative. Now this pelican doesn't need much. I wouldn't put this wall. So we're gonna try a different layer or a different texture to put over this guy. We just want to make it look kind of interesting. All right. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and pick the ground again. The ground texture, the concrete that I took a picture of, actually works really well with many things because you have that grain in the image. The ground has grain. It's like, it's that grainy look. It's really cool. Like it has like almost a film type look when you turn it to a different color. So I mean, look, so excuse me. So I'm gonna do overlay. Okay, overlay looks really sweet. It looks really cool. So you see the texture that I have now on the picture and everything on top of him. Well, let's go ahead and play around a little more. I'm going to create a new layer of all my layers, and with this, let's go ahead and do a color lookup. So I'm going to put a LUT. You guys, if you guys don't know what LUTs are, that's what they use for doing movies and film. So for this, I'm just going to use, I really don't know what these look like, I forget, but you know, you can try this too. It's in Photoshop. You can also download LUTs, but just play around, you know. Photoshop is fun. I love it because you can play around like crazy with filters. That looks kind of nifty. And if I want to do, oh man, let's see. I want to just do a solid color over this. And I want to go ahead and blend this maybe to a soft light. I want to make them a little brighter than that. A screen is not enough. I like this tone it's giving me. Let's see, and then it looks really cool. See, texture. Now, if I don't want that much texture, what I can do is just lower this opacity. Wait, maybe I can't because I just did that. I'll turn this off for a second. Yes, okay, so there it is. I can lower this opacity a little bit so it's not as crazy looking. Crazy with meaning that it's too much. It's still there, which I really like that. Let's change this a little bit to a lower opacity. And look at that. That looks really cool. I like the way that looks. The only thing I can't see is in his head now, so I want to definitely make him pop a little more. So what I'm going to do is take my paintbrush. I'm going to paint in some more color. Not color, but just light. Okay. Now my opacity is really small, and so I'm going to raise up my opacity to 40. And see what I'm doing is I'm bringing some of him back into it from the adjustments that I made. It's all about painting in light, guys. Light is everything with photography, even editing. Now what I'd like to do is do a hue saturation. We're just totally adding layers on this thing, guys. Totally adding layers. Look at this. It's got a yellow tone. I can change that. And that is by going into photo filter and going into a cooling filter. So now it's cool. But I kind of want it less, so I'm going to change the density. And for fun, let's do this. We're just going to do this for fun. See what it looks like. Black and white. No. But I can change that. So basically, when you're using texture, you're playing around. You're changing the way the image looks by putting an image on top of another image, blending it with your blending mode. Okay, and you can create a text. So for this, I'm going to just go, because I took this in Oceanside. Let's capitalize this. Boom. And that looks pretty sweet. Right there. Just like that. So, just be creative. You make postcards. You definitely make postcards with textures, So you just got to really be creative and just totally put your creative cap on and just do whatever, with your photography. This isn't my photo. I pulled this from the net. This is mine. This is mine. That's when I lived in Arizona. So just totally be creative with your stuff, okay? And the possibilities with texture are endless. Absolutely endless. I hope this video has helped you guys. Please let me know in the comments if it did, and if you have any questions at all, I'll be more than happy to answer them. All right. Okay, guys, one thing that I forgot to mention is that when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have a lens that will do macro or micro, whatever it is. If you're doing this on a Canon or a Nikon, it doesn't matter, as long as you have a lens that will zoom in really close to your subject to give you the texture that you're looking for. Or if you're really cheap, you can go ahead and use one of these. Now I picked this up for like 15 bucks on Amazon, but you can go ahead and get different ones. This one doesn't have any connectors, so this is just a manual. But what this does is it magnifies your lens to be closer than your lens actually is. So say you're using a 50mm, the magnification, what it does is it magnifies your optics, so then you have a closer range to where you can get really close. So that's what this is. This is just, these are just tubes and a screw, and there's just different ones. Like this one's 14, one down here is 7. But this was just 15 bucks. So you guys, if you don't have an expensive lens, this is an easy, quick fix. Of course, when you're using one of these, you have to use a tripod. So that is the downfall. Of course, you can't just do a quick shot, because this, you have to make sure you're always focused. And when you're moving back and forth without a tripod, you kind of can't. And you kind of want to use a tripod anyway, to be honest, when you're doing macro photography, or using one of these, or trying to get a nice close-up image of texture. So just a thought, but definitely make sure you're using a macro lens, or just get one of these for cheap if you don't have the money to buy one. Okay, just a little thought, just a little note, just something to give you guys to help you out if you want to definitely get into this kind of photography or use it. This is great for macro photography too, like just regular macro photography if you're not doing texture. It's another tool in your camera bag. Okay, so that definitely, this is a cheapy one, but they have ones that actually have the sensors on the back that will give you the information from a camera to lens to camera. That way it can communicate and actually focus. That's for the AF, the autofocus camera to lens. So those are a little bit more expensive than this, so yeah, just a little thought. Anyway, hope that helps you guys to kind of put more into perspective what you need to get this kind of photography and get that texture that you want. Alright guys, well that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy watching it, and I hope that you learned something from my video today, so then you can implement texture in your photography, or even give it a try to see what you think of it. Just kind of dip your feet in it, see what you think about it. Hopefully this helps you, give you an idea if you would like it or not. It's always worth a try with photography. Everything is awesome because you can do so much with it, and if it's just adding a little thing just to your photo to make it look different than all the rest, it gives you a touch of your I don't know, you have your style. Because when you create photography, when you take pictures, you actually develop a style that others don't. So yeah, hopefully it kind of adds to it to give you that personal touch to each photo. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for watching my video, and if you could, please like this video. It helps this video get more noticed and more people can watch it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel to get more content, and just go ahead and stay in tune and be part of this awesome community I'm building. So thank you guys for everything. You guys are amazing. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, and I'm just grateful for that. All right, hope you're all doing well. Take care.